Well, Mike White's been benched.
Inside, and a beauty! Hall running free! Brees Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and before we hop into today's video, a couple of announcements. Guys, if you want to become members of Tigo Slavia, links are in the description. That is my Patreon. It helps me get some cool stuff going on the channel, including their 2,000 subscriber giveaway, which is going to be a New York Jets jersey if you're a Jets fan, but if not, just a football jersey. I'm going to put a deadline on it. We have to get to that before Christmas. Like to be able to get this going on this year. So we got to hit 2,000 subscribers before Christmas. That is like 30 days, 31, 32 days away. So it's not that much time, but it's also not a lot of time. You guys more than enough time. So share with other people if you want to get in on the jersey giveaway. Hit the subscribe button. It's a really easy way to help the channel. But let's talk about today's video. Zach Wilson has been benched, and in my opinion, I think this is a mistake. I understand why you bench the kid, right? I am not going to sit here and try and defend Zach Wilson's performance this year. He is and has been a really, really bad quarterback. That's just plain and simple. And I think the icing on the cake was the Patriots game. It was being that bad and essentially losing us another Patriots game. But then going out after the game and having those comments and not owning up to your mistakes just left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. And Robert Saleh did the right thing. He chose the 52 men in the locker room over the one guy under center and said that there's no one player more important than the locker room. And I get that. But the reason I think it's a mistake is, well, our next opponent is the Bills. I'm sorry, are the Bears. And with Mike White going to start this game, I can say this with almost 100% certainty. Mike White's going to win this game. Plain and simple. The Bears are not a good football team. With the possibility of Justin Fields missing time and his legs being the only threat that team has, the Bears should be a team that the New York Jets walk over. And Mike White, for all the complaints I have about him and all of the things that he does really, really badly, the one thing that he does is he gets the ball out quickly, on time, and accurately. Now, he doesn't have a world beater arm. He doesn't have elite athleticism. He doesn't bring anything other than the bare minimum of a backup quarterback. And you can win games with Mike White. And Mike White is going to win, in my opinion, the game against the Bears. But then you go to two back-to-back games that are going to be difficult. And in my eyes, the goal is to eventually go back to Zach Wilson. You don't bench Zach Wilson for the rest of the year. I think you have to go back to him at some point this year because you have to really, truly get an evaluation, a full evaluation of the kid. And 20 games just isn't enough time to evaluate him. But when's the good time to do it? The good time to get that full evaluation would be against the Bears. Give him a full blown out game plan in that first half to say, you know what, you're going to win us this game. We're not going to run the ball that much. We're going to ask you to dissect the defense and read and go through your progressions and win with your arm against a bad defense. And if you fail to light up the Chicago Bears defense, who traded away their two best players, then we've got a problem. We go to Mike White in the second half to guarantee the win. And then you run Mike White against the Vikings and the Bills. But what happens when Mike White beats the Bears? You can't take Mike White out at that point and put Zach back in against the Vikings. So you run Mike White against the Vikings, and I have a lot less faith in Mike White beating the Vikings than I do against him and the Bears. Now let's say, miraculously, Mike White beats the Vikings. You got to go back to Zach at some point, right? You can't take Mike out after winning two games, so you run him against the Bills. We know what Mike White looks like against a good team like this. Look at last year, the Indianapolis game, right? Then you go back to Zach week 15 against the Lions, the Jags, the Hawks. Like, the timing seems really weird. I would like to go back to Zach at some point. I think right now he is the best quarterback on our roster. And if he can figure it out, he can be incredibly good. Now, I'll say this. Do I believe that he's going to figure it out? I have no idea. Honestly, at this point, I have no idea. But the idea that Mike White is going to win us a playoff game, that Mike White is going to be a franchise quarterback or is anything to this football team beyond this year, I think is just a bit naive, or I think Zach Wilson can be. And so while I understand why we're benching him, I wouldn't have done it. I would have gone splitting the reps. I would have made it look like Zach had to win the job at practice. And that's how he does it, especially with the fact that he stood up in front of his guys today and all of that stuff. I don't know. That's just me, but I really am curious what you guys are thinking. So let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with the Zach benching? Do you not agree with the Zach benching? What do you think the right move is, and how do you look at this affecting our team long term? We've got a lot of new, interesting things that we didn't expect to be talking about at this point in the season, and quarterback controversy is one of them. Let me know in the comment section below, and last but not least, go Jets.